The objective of every independent film production is to get distribution and to make enough money to pay back all the investors and for producers to hopefully make a profit. So should producers retain a collection account manager to handle the distribution of revenue from their film? Hi, James Pacitti, entertainment attorney and production counsel in Los Angeles. My firm has got a lot of questions over the years from producers as to whether or not it's necessary or valuable to retain a collection account manager to handle the distribution of revenue from independent film projects. Now, first, it's important to understand what is a collection account and what does a collection account manager do. A collection account is an account open in the name of a independent, neutral third party, who is the collection account manager, or the CAM. And the collection account manager receives the film revenues and distributes them on behalf of the beneficiaries of the film. The beneficiaries may include sales agents, distributors, financiers, talent such as actors, producers, directors, and of course the producers and a production company. The job of the CAM is to make sure that all the beneficiaries of the film receive their respective share of the revenue from the film. There are several advantages to setting up a collection account for your film. First, the film's revenue is protected because no one with a financial interest in the film has access or controls the allocation and distribution of gross receipts from the film. Since a neutral third party, the CAM, controls the revenues, that insulates the beneficiaries from the usual financial risk that might attend if any party to it has control of the revenue, besides issues such as good old-fashioned dishonesty and theft. In the event of something where a party goes into bankruptcy during the course of distribution, that could complicate things because the revenue that party is entitled to could be considered an asset of the estate in the course of a bankruptcy. Second, conflicts of interest are avoided because the CAM is going to distribute the revenue based upon the recoupment schedule set forth in the collection account manager agreement, or the CAMA. The CAM agreement is typically signed by all the parties with a major financial interest in the film's revenue, and thereby it reduces or eliminates the risk of conflicts of interest between the interested parties. Third, all the parties that have an interest in the film's revenue will have transparency because, pursuant to the collection account manager agreement, there will be routine reporting about the revenues regarding the film's distribution and gross receipts. And so all the parties can see what is being paid back as in terms of expenses, costs, distributions, and recoupment of cost and the like. So everyone can see what is happening because all of the parties will be provided reporting. Fourth, the producers are able to completely allocate the administration of distribution revenue to this neutral third party. And this is something that is very important because unless producers, it's a significant production company with a back office to handle it, this can be an extraordinary and complicated burden. And even in the event of a company that might have the financial wherewithal or the bandwidth to deal with it, it still raises other issues as discussed about conflicts of interest and issues with the protection of the revenue. So the film producers are able to completely be divorced from the handling of the revenue by entering into an agreement with a collection account manager. So what's the downside of having a collection account manager? To the extent that there is a downside, some sales agents and distributors do not like dealing with a collection account manager as it relates to the distribution of revenue, because that's how they're going to get paid. And when it's usually only in the case of films that are of a lower budget, typically under $1 million. And the other issue would be that, of course, there are costs associated with retaining a collection account manager, and those costs typically are about 1% of the revenue generated by the distribution of the film. However, due to the complexity and other issues with handling the revenue from a distribution of film, including paying residuals pursuant to union agreements, paying profit participants and investors and other parties, I highly recommend that producers always utilize a collection account manager when dealing with the revenue from the distribution of their film. If you have any questions or if you have a project you wish to discuss, don't hesitate to contact us.